All right, good morning and welcome to Iyun, Benzion, Yevamos, number 34. Today we're going to discuss a very important issue, a very practical issue for married couples. Um, can I even say this? That discusses Bia Shalokadarka being sexually together, but the man comes on the woman from behind, not from the front, on the vagina in the tuchus. Is that allowed or not? Is it even allowed? Are you allowed to do that? Are you not allowed to do that? Did you even say that? I mean, you go to any chassan and kala classes, they won't even probably talk about this thing. If you ask a rabbi, they'll tell you it's for sure aser, for sure, the worst thing in the world. Let's see a Tosfos over here. Let's look at the Gemara for a second. The Gemara talking about Tamar. Tamar, when she was with Yehuda, that was considered a Bia Rishona. She was never together with her first husband's Erva Onan. So the Gemara says, what happened with the Erva Onan? So the Gemara says that they were Shaloka dark. That's the Gemara's Maskana. The fourth line of Laman Dal and Beis, Havu Erva Onan. Erva Onan, Shim Shaloka dark. That's the Gemara said, they were Shaloka dark on. They came from the back. And even if they let out the Zera in the back, it's not going to make a woman pregnant. So that's what it's talking about. So the Gemara brings a question from a Brisa. Lezer Nakam argue. Lezer says that someone who's dash from within is b'chutz, meaning presumably it means he comes in from the front of the vagina, and then he's dash mivnim, he threshes inside, and then before ejaculation he comes out, he lets the zera out outside. So that's like the Chum call that ma'isa erva onan. So the Gemara asks, how is that called ma'isa erva onan? Ma'isa erva onan is coming from behind, not dash mivnim zara b'chutz. So the Gemara says this is an interesting line. The Gemara says k'ma'isa erva onan v'lo k'ma'isa erva onan. K'ma'isa erva onan d'chsiv hayayin ba eishdach v'sheiches arza. It's like erva onan because they do something called sheiches arza. Sheiches arza literally means that they wasted it, they destroyed it to the ground. Look at ma'isa erva onan dilo hasam shalokadarka v'hacha gedarka. Erva onan were different. They did unnatural. They did from the back. And Rav Lezer was talking about a case where you do it from the front in a natural way. You just don't finish. You don't ejaculate on the woman. So, what's the Gemara saying over here? So, all the Mefarshim, I think Rashi, the article says exactly. And as he says, when the Gemara says, it means the Gemara is readjusting what the pasuk means. Shiches arsa, Erva were not Shiches arsa, right? They didn't ejaculate on the ground, literally. They just ejaculated in the woman from behind. So it was like Ma'aser Onan, it was Shiches because you can't become pregnant like that. They destroyed it. What's the word artsa? It's a little difficult, the word artsa, to the ground. They ejaculate inside the woman, but from behind, as opposed to other explanation. Darash, Rav Lezer and Rabbanan are talking about Dashmin Zara and Bachutz. It's talking from the front, you just ejaculate on the ground. So both are bad. That's all the Gemara is saying. Both are bad. Erva Onan was bad in one way. It was called Shiches Arts. And rather than come, we're talking about a different type of way, which is also not going to produce a pregnancy, and equally as bad. But they're talking about different things. That's the simple explanation. Rashi doesn't even say anything. That's what the article says. Now, Tosfos asks a question over here from Gemara Nedarim, which will shed light on this topic. Tosfos says, "Is mashmad also l'shama shaloka darka?" It sounds like it's a bad thing. Ma'isa erva ona. I think this is a terrible thing. They got killed. The psukim say they did it. The tema. Tosfos asked, "The perish shein the nedarim amar ahi asked the commander Rebbe amar le shulchan arachti lava hapcho." A woman complained to Rebbe. She laid down for the man to go inside of her, and he turned her over. Right? Presumably means he bid be a shaloka darka. He came from the behind. Amar le biti a Torah he tirascha. Torah matter that. And the Torah, the maskana of the Gemara is that the halacha is exactly like that. Koma, and the Gemara says whatever you want to do with your wife, you can do. You could eat her cooked, roasted, whatever you want, you could do. And he proves that hafko means came in from behind. So Tosfos answers two answers. So first Tosfos answer, I'm going to read the Hasam Ma'iri below Hosar Zera. He says that's talking about all Gemara and Dharma allows you to do over there is to start your bia that way. When you want to release the Zera, you have to release it from the front, inside the woman. Not clearly Mashma from the Gemara like that. And then the Omeri, a second answer, Od Omeri, the Lochasha Kamai Zera, Ona, Miskavan Lahashka Zera, Ragilasas Kin Tamid. Like he says normally it's mutter. As long as you don't do it all the time like that. If you do it all the time, Erva Ona never had a normal bia with Tamar. But if you do it Sometimes, because you feel in the mood for that, it's perfectly mutter. As the Gemara says in Adarim, it's brought down two days in Shulchan Aruch, whether you're allowed to do it or not, based on these two answers. I think the Rosh also brings down these 2 days. So it's not so clear, even the Halach, even the Shulchan Aruch, which will be possible. I think the Shulchan Aruch are must is to be machmir, that you should be machmir, that you can only do it without releasing zera. Now, first of all, Pashas in the Gemara, a simple explanation of the Gemara in Adarim, that it's mutter, and that's seemingly, I would say, just practically, not because I'm taiva or anything like that, but I would just say that it makes more sense. The Gemara says, what happened? He said a woman came to Rebbe and said, what? So he turned her over, and then he started the bowl, and then he turned her back and finished inside of her. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, really. I mean, it's normally a bia is a bia. He start and finish. Now, also in Bali, the Lashon of the Gemara and the Lashon of the Pasuk and Rashi ala Torah. Because Rashi ala Torah says, when he talks about Erev Onan, he says, what's Erev Onan? What do they do wrong? He says, Dash from the Mizar Mechutz. That's what he says in the Torah. So they ask on him, how can you say that over here? The Gemara says that Erev Onan was Shalok Kedarka. Presumably Shalok Kedarka came from behind. Dash from the Mizar B'Bifnim. He finished inside the woman from behind, but not outside. So how could he say that? That's the Gemara says over here, and that's what we were explaining. Halal K'maisa Erev Onan. Look, K'maisa Erev Onan had a sin that they did it from behind, and Rezer was talking about Dash from the Mizar B'Chutz, which is a different sin, but they're both equally bad. And secondly, what it says, Shiches Arza, Erva Onan, it seems to be like Rashi saying on the Torah, Shiches Arza. What does Arza mean? He wasted it, destroyed it. Arza to the ground? What do you mean to the ground? He finished inside. I like to say over here, that's what the Gemara means. Erva Onan did two things wrong. First of all, he should look at dark. And second of all, when they finished look at dark, they didn't actually finish inside the woman. They let it out outside the woman. Why would you want to do that? It's a different discussion. But that was the rishus of them. The rishus of them, they didn't finish inside the woman. But Bia Shalok Kedarka is 100% mutter. That's what the Torah is saying. Erev Onan was doubly bad. They did it. Not only was Dash from Zor B'chutz, the Rashi says al Torah, Dash from Zor B'chutz. That was the real problem. They also did Shalok Kedarka, which was bad also. They did both things, which made it really terrible. Right? Better among Rishon Gmurim. So they did two sins, terrible things. So Shiches Arza. So that's what all the Gemara said. That we have an answer to Toz's question over here. The Gemara, Ma'aseh Erva Onan, Shalok Kedarka is 100% mutter like the Gemara in Adarim. It's only when you have Shiches Arza, when you dash from the Zorah B'chutz, or you did both, right? Or even do it naturally, dash from the Zorah B'chutz, even from the front, that would be a problem also. So both of them are, so only when you do both of them, dash from the Zorah B'chutz is the real problem. And certainly Erva Onan, when they did both, but Abiyah Shalok Kedarka is 100% mutter. That's seemingly the similar explanation of the Gemara. That would answer Rashi al Torah. I'd like to add also that it's born out from the machlokas. The Gemara has a machlokas between the Chum and Rabbi Yehuda about what's called shikva zera, to make you go to the mikvah, to be told when you're together with a woman, you have to do tefillah for because shikva zera was laid out, even if it's a normal way. The Chum say prat l'shalok kedarka, and the Gemara explains prat l'shalok ma'ikal miflagi. The Rabbanan say shikva zera prat la'ara osa prat l'shalok kedarka. So shikva zera is coming to exclude ha'ara, where you don't let it out seed. Osa, her, plashlo kedarka. It's not considered a bia with her if you did it from behind. She's not part of it. She gets pain. She doesn't enjoy it so much. But he doesn't exempt shalo kedarka from shikva zera. Like Yehuda exempt from shikva zera. According to the Rabbanan, who we paskin like, he's assuming that shalo kedarka is not excluded from shikva zera, meaning there is shikva zera. Assuming he does finish the shikva zera inside the woman from behind, and therefore it's completely mutter. And I don't know, go ask your rabbi about this. It really is important. It's undervalued halachas of the bedroom, what's allowed, what's not allowed. And most people don't ask these questions, too embarrassed to ask these questions. They just rely either the circle and says machmir, or they'll ask their rabbi and they'll always say machmir, or just not ask the rabbi and just be afraid to do it. People have a taiva for these things. People do enjoy these things, obviously the men more than the women. You really have to ask a rabbi and really try to find out the truth, because if it's allowed and you're not allowing yourself to do it, happiness of a man and especially happiness of a woman are related to success in the bedroom. If you didn't know that, a good secret to a happy marriage is these things. And if you're depriving yourself of things that you're allowed to do, you're really ruining your marriage and ruining your life. So these are important. I hope you found this inspiring, and please reach out to more people. Talk about this. Should be talked about, because it's really mutter.